You're sitting there, maybe in your room or in your car or just walking through the day like any other. But something inside of you, it's stirring. It's not loud. It doesn't shout. It whispers soft, steady. A quiet truth that you've felt for a long time, even if you've never said it out loud. There's more. More to who you are. More to what you're here to do. More to what life is supposed to feel like. Not in some far-off future. Not after you get it all together. Now, and maybe, just maybe, the reason it hasn't all unfolded yet isn't because you're not ready, but because you haven't fully believed it's already yours. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you dream about is the belief that you can't have it? What if belief isn't just some spiritual concept, but a power, a force, that bends the reality around you? Right here, right now, not someday, today. Because here's the truth no one teaches in school. The world you see around you is just a mirror, and it's reflecting back what you've been feeling, fearing, and focusing on. Not to punish you, but to remind you of what you're still carrying inside. So the question becomes this: are you ready to see what happens when you finally start believing that it's already done? They say, "It shall be done for you as you have believed, not as you've wished, not as you've hoped in passing moments, as you have believed." And belief, real belief, it doesn't live in the surface thoughts you think once in a while. It lives deeper, in the quiet convictions beneath the noise. The ones that shape how you walk into a room, how you look at your future, how you see yourself. That's the kind of belief that moves mountains. Not because the mountain disappears, but because you realize you were never meant to climb it with fear. You were meant to walk through it with faith. And here's the thing: when you believe in your vision, truly believe, you don't force it. You don't chase it. You become it. Your subconscious mind, this vast, limitless field, begins to reorganize your world without you needing to control it. People show up. Opportunities align. Moments of inspiration hit you like lightning. And it's not random. It's resonance. Your belief starts to match the frequency of what you desire. And suddenly, the outer world catches up. You no longer feel like you're pushing against life. You're flowing with it. Because now, you're not asking if it'll happen. You're knowing that it's already on the way. And the best part? It all begins with one inner shift. Choosing to believe in what you can't yet see, more than the limits you've been taught to accept. So, you've begun to believe. You feel something stirring, aligning, unfolding. But then, out of nowhere, that thought creeps in. The one that whispers, "You're not enough. It won't work for you. Why even try?" Sound familiar? This is where everything changes. Not by fighting it. Not by pretending it's not there. But by doing something most people never learn to do. Observe. Step back. Not away from yourself, but into yourself, the part that watches everything without judgment. You are not the doubt. You are the one noticing the doubt. And that difference, that shift, that's your superpower. When you stop identifying with every thought that passes through, you begin to see what's true and what's just programming. Old beliefs, wounds dressed as logic, fears wearing the mask of safety. And in that space, the space between feeling and reacting, you gain the power to choose, to breathe, to pause, to ask, is this thought aligned with who I'm becoming? If not, you let it pass, like a cloud across the sky, because you're not here to wrestle with every storm. You're here to rise above them with calm, with clarity. The more you observe, the more free you become. And slowly, the old noise loses its grip. Your energy returns to your vision. Your emotions begin to serve you instead of sabotage you. This is what it means to wake up. To live not from your past, but from the possibility of who you already are underneath it all. You've seen it now. The thoughts, the patterns, the invisible strings pulling at your reactions. They don't come from who you truly are. They come from who you were taught to be. Beliefs passed down. Experiences misinterpreted. Moments that left a mark when you were too young to know what to do with them. But here's the truth most people miss. You don't need to fight your programming to be free. You just need to see it and let go. Not ignore it, not shame it, just witness it without identifying with it. It's like watching a movie you've seen 100 times. Same script, same ending. But this time, you know it's just a story. It doesn't control you anymore. The moment you stop reacting, the cycle breaks. That's how powerful your awareness is. The pain? It only lingers when you resist it. But when you face it with compassion, it begins to dissolve. Your emotions become messengers, not enemies. Your triggers become teachers. And that subconscious programming, it starts to lose its power, because now you're the one choosing what stays and what goes. You're no longer the actor playing out old roles. You're the director rewriting the scene. You begin to align your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, not with who you were told to be, but with the vision you've accepted as truth. A vision rooted in peace, in worthiness, in freedom. And the more you live from that space, the more your world begins to reflect it back. Because when the inner world shifts, the outer world has to follow. Now that you've seen the programming and felt what it's like to observe without reacting, you're standing on new ground. This is where you begin to live from your vision, not as a fantasy, not as a goal that's out there in the future, but as your truth right here, right now. It's no longer about trying to become your ideal self. It's about being them even before the world sees the results. Because the world, it always catches up to the energy you lead with. So you walk differently. You speak with more intention. You make decisions from a place of peace, not pressure. You stop waiting for proof to believe. Your belief becomes the proof. And the most beautiful part? You don't need to fake confidence. You just need to return to your center again and again, where your vision lives, already accepted as real. Even when old triggers show up, even when you're tested by the past, you now have a choice. You can breathe, pause, and respond as the version of you who already knows how this story ends. You move through your day like someone who's already arrived, not because you're pretending, but because you've finally remembered who you are. You're not becoming, you're revealing the version of you that was always there, underneath the noise. And as you live from that place, life mirrors it back. The right people, the aligned moments, the next steps clear and undeniable, all flowing toward you because you finally stopped chasing and started being. There's something powerful about a story, not theory, not abstract words, but a life, shifting, evolving, becoming something new, right before your eyes. Let me tell you about her. She had always carried the belief that love had to be earned, that she needed to prove herself, bend, shrink, overgive just to be chosen. And for years, she kept attracting the same kind of person, emotionally distant, inconsistent, unavailable. But one day something shifted, not in the world, in her. She stopped asking, "Why do they treat me this way?" and started asking, "Why do I keep accepting it?" She sat with that pain, not as a victim, but as an observer. She didn't shame herself. She listened. And from that still place, something rose. A new belief. I am worthy of a love that feels like peace. That became her North Star. She no longer chased. She no longer reacted. She aligned. And slowly, the people in her life began to shift or disappear. Then he came. Not as a savior, not as a fantasy, but as a reflection of who she had become. Calm, kind, consistent. Exactly what she had once believed was too much to ask for. That's the thing about transformation. It doesn't shout. It whispers through your choices. It shows up in who you allow into your life and who you no longer need to explain yourself to. Now, let me tell you about him. He grew up hearing that success came through struggle. No pain, no gain. Work hard, hustle harder. And he did. But underneath the grind, there was burnout, resentment, emptiness. Until one moment, in the stillness after another sleepless night, he realized that he didn't want just success. He wanted fulfillment, ease, creativity, joy. And so he did something radical. He stopped pushing. He began building from inspiration, not exhaustion. He started saying no to what drained him and yes to what sparked him. It was slow at first, but one aligned yes at a time his business changed. And more importantly, he changed. Now he leads with flow, not force. And he's more successful than ever. Not because he works harder, but because he finally works from his vision, not his fear. These are real stories, ordinary people, extraordinary transformations. And you're next. By now, you've seen it. Not just the belief, not just the programming, but the space in between, the space where you get to choose. And this is where your power lives. Not in some version of you that has it all figured out. Not in some perfect, healed, Instagram-ready future. But in the you who's awake now, present, capable of watching a thought, feeling an emotion, and saying, I don't have to be this version anymore. That's not small. That's not subtle. That is revolutionary. Because the final shift isn't about doing more. It's about finally realizing you've always had the power. And now you're ready to use it. Not through control, not through fear, but through alignment. You stop seeking validation. You stop needing proof. You simply know. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. You know what you're calling in. And your energy, it speaks louder than any words ever could. You no longer hustle for your worth. You radiate it. You no longer beg the world to see you. You see yourself. And that changes everything. This is your life now. Not the one you're waiting for. Not the one you might create if everything goes right. This is it. Right here. Right now. The power to believe. The power to observe. The power to let go. The power to live from your vision. Fully. So take it. Stand in it. Own it. Because you're not here to hope things change. You're here to be the change. To embody the vision so clearly, the universe has no choice but to reflect it back. Over. And over. And over again. So here you are. You've seen your vision. You've understood your beliefs. You've felt the weight of your past programming. And the freedom that comes from letting it go. You've remembered what it feels like to observe, to choose instead of react, to lead your life from the inside out. Now, there's only one thing left to do. Take the seat at the center of your own life. No more waiting for the right moment. No more shrinking to fit. No more giving your power away to fear, doubt, or the opinions of others. This is your moment. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're ready. Ready to stop circling around your vision and finally walk straight into it. Ready to act in alignment with who you've always been underneath the noise. Ready to honor the guidance that's whispered to you in the quiet moments when no one else was watching. Because here's what's real. No one's coming to hand you permission. You already have it. You are the permission. You are the sign. You are the turning point. So step forward, not in force, but in full awareness. Not to prove anything, but to remember everything. Every decision you make from here, every thought you choose to believe, every moment you return to your center, it shapes your world. It is your world. You've always had the power, but now finally you're choosing to use it. And that's how a life transforms. That's how a soul wakes up. That's how vision becomes reality. Right here, right now, with you. For millennia, Egyptian pharaohs have used the sacred frequency of 432 Hz to attract wealth, power, and abundance. But since 1936, a shift to the 440 Hz frequency has been blocking their natural connection to wealth. Now, you can reactivate this hidden power with special audios that awaken your pineal gland and unlock your ability to manifest money in minutes a day. Click the link in the first pinned comment and start changing your vibration now.